Word order. Grandiloquent Lord of heaven and earth, self-reliant Father Enki, engendered by a bull, begotten by a wild bull, cherished by Enlil, the great mountain, beloved by holy An, king, mass tree planted in the Abdu, rising over all lands. Great dragon, who stands in Eridug, whose shadow covers heaven and earth. A grove of vines extending over the land. Enki, lord of the plenty of the Anuna gods. Nudimud, mighty one of the Ekur, strong one of heaven and earth. Your great house is founded in the Abdu, the great mooring post of heaven and earth. Enki, from whom a single glance is enough to unsettle the hearts of the mountains. Wherever bison are born, where stags are born, where ibex are born, where wild goats are born, in the meadows, in hollows in the heart of the hills, in green unvisited by man. You have fixed your gaze on the hearts of the land as on split reeds, counting the days and putting the months in their houses, so as to complete the years and to submit the completed years to the assembly for a decision, taking decisions to regularize the days. Father Enki, you are the king of the assembled people. You have only to open your mouth for everything to multiply and for plenty to be established. Your branches green with their fruit do honor to the gods. In its forest is like a fleecy garment. There is oil, there is milk, produced by the sheepfold and cow pen. The shepherd sweetly sings his rustic song. The cowherd spends the day rocking his churns. Their products would do honor to the late lunches in the goat's great dining hall. Your word fills the young man's heart with vigor, so that like a thick-horned bull he boots about in the courtyard. Your word bestows loveliness on the young woman's head, so that the people in their settled cities gaze at her in wonder. Enlil, the great mountain, has commissioned you to gladden the hearts of lords and rurals, and wish them well. Enki, Lord of prosperity, Lord of wisdom, Lord the beloved of An, the ornament of Eridug, who established commands and decisions, who well understands the decreeing of fates. You close up the days and make the months enter their houses. You make the people dwell in their dwelling places. You make them follow their herdmen. You turn weapons away from their houses. You make the people safe in their dwellings. When Father Enki goes forth to the inseminated people, good seed will come forth. When Nudimud goes forth to the good pregnant ewes, good lambs will be born. When he goes forth to the fecund cows, good calves will be born. When he goes forth to the good pregnant goats, good kids will be born. If you go forth to the cultivated fields, to the good germinating fields, stockpiles and stacks can be accumulated on the high plain. Enki, the king of the Abdu, rejoicing in great splendor, justly praises himself. My father, the king of heaven and earth, made me famous in heaven and earth. My elder brother, the king of all of the lands, gathered up all the divine powers and placed them in my hand. I brought the arts and craft from the Ekur, the house of Enlil, to my Abdu in Eri Dug. I am the good semen, begotten by a wild bull. I am the firstborn of An. I am a great storm rising over the great earth. I am the great lord of the land. I am the principal among all rurals, the father of all the foreign lands. I am the big brother of the gods. I bring prosperity to perfection. I am the seal keeper of heaven and earth. I am the wisdom and understanding all of the foreign lands. With An the king, on An's desk, I oversee justice. With Enlil looking out of the lands, I decree good destinies. He has placed in my hands the decreeing of a fate in the place where the sun rises. I am charged by Nintur. I am named with a good name by Ninursaga. I am the leader of the Anuna gods. I was born as the firstborn son of the holy An. After the Lord had proclaimed his greatness, after the great prince had eulogized himself, the Anuna gods stood there in prayer and supplication. Praise be to Enki, the much-praised Lord, who controls all the arts and craft, who takes decisions. In a state of high delight, Enki, the king of the Abdu, rejoicing in great splendor, again justly praises himself. I am the Lord. I am one whose word is reliable. I am one who excels in everything. At my command, sheepfolds have been built, cowpens have been fenced off. When I approach heaven, a rain of abundance rains from heaven. When I approach earth, there is a high carp flood. When I approach the green meadows, at my word stockpiles and stacks are accumulated. I have built my house, a shrine in a poor place, and name it with a good name. I have built my Abdu, a shrine, and decreed a good fate for it. The shade of my house extends over the pool. By my house the Suur carp dart among the honey plants, and the Estub carp wave their tails among the small juicy reeds. The small birds chirp in their nests. The lords pay heed to me. I am Enki. They stand before me, praising me. The Enkum and Ninkum officials organize. They purify the river for me. In my Abdu, sacred songs and incantation resound for me. My barge crown, the stag of the Abdu, transports me there most delightfully. It glides swiftly for me through the great marshes to wherever I have decided. It is obedient to me. The stroke colors make the oars pull in the perfect unison. They sing for me pleasant songs, creating a cheerful mood on the river. Nijirsig, the captain of my barge, holds the golden shaft for me. I am Enki. He is command of my boat, stag of the Abdu. I am the Lord. I will travel. I am Enki. I will go forth into my land. The Lord who determines the fates. I will admire its green cedars. Let the lands of Meluha, Magan, and Dilmun look upon me, upon Enki. Let the Dilmun boats be loaded with timber. Let the Magan boats be loaded sky high. Let the Magilum boats of Meluha transport gold and silver, and bring them to Nibru for Enlil, king of all the lands. He presented animals to those who have no city, to those who have no houses, to the Martu nomads. The Anuna gods address affectionately the great prince who has traveled in his land. Lord, who rides upon the great powers, the pure powers, who controls the great powers, the numberless powers, foremost in all the breadth of heaven and earth, who received the supreme powers in Eridug, the holy place, the most esteemed place, Enki, Lord of heaven and earth, praise. All the lords and the rurals, the incantation priests of Eridug, and the linen-clad priests of Sumer perform the purification rites of the Abedu for the great prince who has traveled in his land. For Father Enki they stand guard in the holy place, the most esteemed place. They purify the great shrine of the Abedu. They bring there the tall juniper, the pure plant. Skillfully they built the main starway of Eridug on the good quay. They prepare the sacred Udga shrine, where they utter endless prayers. For Enki, squabbling together, and the Suhurma's carp dart among the One plants, again fighting amongst themselves for the great prince. The Estub carp wave their tails among the small Gizi reeds. The Lord, the great ruler of the Abedu, issues instructions on board the stag of the Abedu, the great emblem erected in the Abedu, providing protection, its shade extending over the whole land, and refreshing the people, the pillar and the pole planted in the marsh, rising high over all the foreign lands. The noble captain of the lands, the son of Enlil, holds in his hand the sacred point pole, a mast tree ornamented in the Abedu, which received the supreme powers in Eridug, the holy place, the most esteemed place. The hero proudly lifts his head towards the Abedu. Nijirsig, the captain of the barge, holds the holy scepter for the Lord. The 50 Lahama deities of the subterranean water speak affectionately to him. The stroke colors like heavenly gam-gam birds. The intrepid king, Father Enki in the land. Prosperity was made to burgeon in heaven and on earth for the great prince who travels in the land. Enki decreed its fate. Sumer, great mountain, land of heaven and earth, trialing glory, bestowing powers on the people from sunrise to sunset. Your powers are superior powers, untouchable, and your heart is complex and inscrutable. Like heaven itself, your just matrix, in which gods too can be born, is beyond reach, giving birth to kings who put on the good diadem, giving birth to lords who wear the crown on their heads. Your Lord, the honored Lord, sits with An, the king, on An's thus. Your king, the great mountain, Father Enlil, the father of all the lands, has blocked you impenetrably, like a cedar tree. The Anuna, the great gods, have taken up dwellings in your midst, and consumed their food in your Jiguna shrines among the unique and exceptional trees. Household Sumer, may your sheepfolds be built and your cattle multiply. May your Jiguna touch the skies. May your good temples reach up to heaven. May the Anuna determine the destinies in your midst. Then he proceeded to the sanctuary of Urim. Enki, lord of the Abzu, decreed its fate. City, which possesses all that is fitting, bathed by water, startable altar of abundance that strides across the mountains, rising like the hills, forest of azure cypresses, with broad shade self-confident. May your perfect powers be well directed. The great mountain Enlil has pronounced your name, great in heaven and on earth. City whose fate Enki has decreed, sanctuary of Urim, you shall rise high to heaven. Then he proceeded to the land of Meluha. Enki, lord of the Abzu, decreed its fate. Black land, may your trees be great trees. May your forest be forests of island mass trees. Chairs made from them will grace royal palaces. May your reeds be great reeds. May your bulls be great bulls. May they be bulls of the mountains. May their bellowing be the bellowing of wild bulls of the mountains. The great powers of the gods shall be made perfect for you. May the francolins of the mountains wear cornelian beards. May your birds all be peacocks. May their cries grace royal palaces. May all your silver be gold. May all your copper beat in bronze. Land, may all you possess be plentiful. May your people go forth like bulls against their fellow men.